Mabuhay! I'm Melbert Vitujo from BA Com 1A. Now, join me to know my story. For my physical self, body love is more than acceptance of self or the acceptance of the body. Body love is about self-worth in general. It's more than our physical appearance. Physical self-love is loving your body and loving who you are inside. Loving your body can be difficult for many, but if you take a look at it, loving yourself isn't hard. Simply just telling yourself that you love the way you look is a form of love and is seen as something of value and respect. For me, body positivity has been very complex, in part because I grew up with a number of negative messages that came with identifying as a girl or a woman. I think for a long time I ignored my body and I tried to hide it. By believing in myself, I could finally be the best version of myself. More recently, I've been attempting to have a better relationship with my body, food, and what is healthy. What I have learned thus far is the best version of myself was there all along. I just didn't believe in her. For my material self, it refers to all physical elements that reflect for who you are. The more we invest ourselves in these objects, the more we inevitably attach to them. In material self, find style that work. If you don't love it, don't buy it. The way we dress affects the way we think, the way we feel, the way we act, and the way others react to us. Clothes. It is a form of self-expression which one reflects ourselves. Family. Family holds tight bond and connection within us and greatly influence us as an individual. To my political self. In political self, values are important beliefs or ideals of a person in a community, serving as a motivation for action. Norms are action guiding rules. In political self, it includes Filipino traits and values. Being a better Filipino is being an active Filipino citizen. It is a person who upholds unconditional love for his or her country, cherishes the Filipino culture, upholds Filipino values, and knows how to follow the rules and regulations. Being a better Filipino can influence the political self, but it really depends on what being a better Filipino really means. To my social self. Social self refers to how we perceive ourselves in relation to others. It involves relationship building, empathizing, and communicating. My role as a friend is the one who always lightens up the atmosphere, even if the situation is difficult. I always try to look for a way to uplift their mood. As a friend, I am very loud and talkative and usually the one who would open a topic or conversation. Aside from that, I always extend a hand whenever they needed my help. I make sure that I help them in the best way that I can. And my role to my organization, way back in high school, I joined Supreme Student Government. As a member of the said organization, I make sure to actively participate in the community. I also do my role as a model to my younger generation by educating and equipping them with the right values. To my sexual self. Our sexual self is a complex combination of our social, cultural, and biological inheritance. Now, considering myself as a trans, like all living things, I am inherently a sexual being. My sexuality is rooted on how I understand and define myself, how I perceive others, and how I see the world with a conservative environment. In my opinion, sex is an important part of life and overall well-being. It is actually our purpose. Be truthful and multiply. And I just want to say that I am a trans, proud and loud. In spiritual self. Your spiritual self is you in your most beautiful and powerful form. It is the authentic self, the unconditioned part, the you without patterns. This is personal for each of us, so no need to get caught up on the language. On your process, you got to know this part of yourself, as we call it, your spiritual self. Waking up each morning, I thank God for giving me another day, for the gift of life and all gifts of nature. Truly, all around me comes from God who has created everything. And I just want to say that I am a proud Roman Catholic. And lastly, to my digital self. When we talk about the digital self, we are talking about the self as it exists within digital spaces. Your digital self is just self in that it exists across whatever mediums, websites, and services you use. These bits are pieces together to form a whole picture of what it means to be you, or some aspect of you. The concept of the digital self is likewise the self-promising principle of being dependent on the modern-day technology. The basic reason why the principle of the digital self is that once you go online as your real identity by the use of your own name or appearance, you have an online presence that can be traced back to you in the real world. Thank you. Thank you for joining me.